Thank y'all for watching the Persistent Bosses podcast, brought to you by NOLA Persistence. My name is Lisa C. Laird. I'm the host and CEO of NOLA Persistence. On today's podcast, I have Debbie Kass, a 17-year independent senior sales agent. She currently specializes in Medicare. On Persistent Bosses, we discuss obstacles, the objections, and all the wins we have in sales. But Debbie is a true winner, not just in sales, but in her personal life. She is a breast cancer survivor. I am so honored to have her on my show. And I'm going to tell you that I have such an introduction for her because when I started doing sales training 17 years ago, she was the first person I recruited to come to my training. So I guess you can say she was kind of a guinea pig. She got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of what I can do. But it was a blessing because when I say the good, we had a lot of wins. When I say the bad, we had a lot of lessons we learned. But sometimes the ugly was a personal obstacle. And she was going through breast cancer while we were both trying to be superstar commission-only sales agents. And I thought this would be a great opportunity for other people to hear her story and how she overcame that personal obstacle and still remain successful. So Debbie, thank you for being here. It is such a pleasure to have you because on a personal level, I admire you. I look up to you. You are that superstar mom. And, you know, when you think you couldn't take any more than being a single mom, running your own business, you got a surprise such as breast cancer. I want you just to paint a picture of your sales journey.
Well, thank you for having me, Lisa. And I do look up to you. I am so proud of you and all your accomplishments and just really happy to be here.
We're going to ruin our makeup, Debbie.
17 years ago, yeah. Well, you know, before I worked at the Audubon Zoo, I was the merchandise director of the gift shops, working a salary position, 50 to 60 hours a week, weekends, holidays. And when I had my first son, Patrick, I started missing all the good stuff. So it's like, man, I don't want to miss anything.
Right.
So that's when I decided to leave that job after 16 years to do something else. And I was going to sell to zoos and aquariums. That didn't work out. And then I went to a purse party and I met you. And that's when you had introduced me to being an independent salesperson and what that might look like. And I thought, that is my opportunity, that design my life so I can spend time with Patrick. I had one child at the time. So
it's so crazy because you sold me a purse. I thought you did a good job. But I even told you when you were selling me that purse, I'm like, how are you not doing insurance? Because I know purse sales are great, but reoccurring purse sales with the same person can be hard. Insurance is so wonderful because you get residuals. You still get paid for what you did 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Sure.
And I was so just excited when you were like, you know what, I think I want to try this because you were adamant. I want something flexible. But we got to paint a bigger picture. There are pros to being self-employed and your own boss, but there's also the cons.
Sure.
What do you think the pros are?
Well, absolutely. The pros are the fact that you get to design your life and you get to spend that time with your family when it's important. And I didn't want to miss the stuff. The cons are you're not getting that steady paycheck every week or every month or whatever. So you kind of have to balance it out. So for me personally, I think the desire to have my life and not miss the stuff for my two sons. I have two sons, Patrick and Max. I didn't want to miss anything. So that took over the fear or the intimidation of not getting that steady check.
It does, but at the same time, we're going to go into your breast cancer journey because you had to miss a lot of time at work.
Sure.
Because you have two boys you have to be around for. So you couldn't miss that chemo appointment. Couldn't miss the radiology appointment. And I want you just to give us a quick journey on how, from your diagnosis to your journey of just trying to get through it. And I will say, we worked together a lot when you were going through breast cancer. And I can remember, I'm going to get emotional. We were on our way to an appointment. You had your first chemo treatment. It was very windy outside. We were in Harvey. And we get out the car and I started crying. You're like, why are you crying? Your hair is just in the wind coming out.
It was falling out. It was falling out.
And I think that was
between the sales calls.
And what's crazy about that for me, I'm like, but you know what's wonderful? You did chemo that the day before, and you're out doing sales calls on a cold day. No excuses.
No.
And I looked up to you for that. Because even as we're walking into a business, you had a jacket on. Like, Debbie, I got to pick the hairs off the back of your jacket. Like, it was everywhere. But it was emotional for me because I'm like, this is real. This isn't, this, you know, this is real, what she's going through. And I think the hair thing was, for me, we got a journey. We got a journey.
Absolutely. You know, from the diagnosis, you're in shock, right? Because you don't ever think that's going to happen to you. It's always going to happen to somebody else. I didn't smoke. I ate fairly healthy, not as healthy as I should, but never thought that that would ever happen. And felt the lump, went and got checked out and was diagnosed, and you're in shock, right? And then it's, once you get over the shock, it's the fear of, what's going to happen? Because I had become a single parent, raising 2 kids. And it's like, oh my God, if something happens to me, what's going to happen to my kids? It's the first thing that starts going through your mind. And, you know, I was the head of my household with a commission-only job. So, you know, you can have your pity party for a minute, but then you find out really quickly that the pity party doesn't pay the bills. So you got to be resilient and get up and go to work and do what you got to do. Now, taking care of your health is first and foremost, because if you don't do that, you can't do the job. So, you know, I would do chemo every 3rd Friday at West Jeff, and then I'd have the weekend to recover and then get back at it and go make those sales calls. A lot of them were with you in the heat of the summer with the wig on and the jacket, you know, and sweating, and you just do what you got to do, because basically, like, you know, you used to say when you train me, you know, Entergy don't care that West Jeff got paid. No. They want their money. So if I didn't work, nothing in my household was going to work. So I didn't have a choice. You just get up and you do what you got to do.
We're in the business world. And one thing I do when I train people, it's rejections. If someone says they're not interested, it's not personal. It's business.
Right.
But when you're going through a personal obstacle, you can't help but let it get to you, you know, and what you're going through. But I have a great question for you. I felt like you handled it so well because you didn't always tell everybody you were wearing a wig. You didn't always announce that you were going through breast cancer.
No.
But there were moments where you felt so relaxed with a customer. You would tell them about their journey, your journey you're going through. And would you say that helped you bond with customers? Like they saw you as a human, not Debbie, the sales rep soliciting.
Absolutely. From a horrible thing that happened and getting the diagnosis was one of the best things that helped me become a better agent, because you see both sides of the fence. So you see Debbie, the agent, and then you see Debbie, the policyholder, going through something like cancer, because I had the cancer plan and I was diagnosed. I had the cancer plan 1 month and then I was diagnosed with breast cancer, shockingly, like I said. So when I come across a policyholder, a client that has breast cancer, it teaches you compassion.
Right.
Because you've been through it and you know all the feelings you feel. And they're, I'm sure, feeling a lot of the same things. So, you know what they're going through. You understand and you hold their hand. Hey, I'm here with you. I'm going to walk you through every step of this process. Don't worry.
So
no worries.
I'm laughing right now because I can remember one time we were running late to a company, and an office manager, the owner liked this. The office manager wasn't really sold on us. And we got there kind of late, you know, and then you went and talked to her, and we get in the car and you're like, well, I made a friend. I'm like, how'd you make a friend? Told her I was going to do breast cancer. We hugged and we, you know, she's like, she even sent me a friend request. Like, we are girls. And it's
you
not.
play that breast cancer card and you're in sales, you play any card you can play to get that appointment. And I thought I could use that breast cancer card.
But it was so funny. You were like, you know, the office manager really didn't seem to like us. She loves me now.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's because she probably knew someone that's had cancer, breast cancer. And I think sometimes owners need to realize we are people just like you.
Right.
We are soliciting just like you do as a business owner. You know, whenever a business owner gives me an attitude like, I can't stand you solicitors coming in here. So you sell nothing? It's true.
I love that.
You sell nothing. It's kind of like, I know you were laughing earlier when I made the remark when an owner tells me, you know, I'd love it if you could send an email with all your rate and services. Is that how you sell? Because in 20 years, that's never helped me. That helps you as a business owner. I would love to hear how that's helped you. And they sometimes will laugh because it's like, well, no, that's not how I do it. So sometimes I think it's important to sit with an owner or your office manager, an HR person, say, I'm a person just like you. I want to do good business just like you. But there are times that we have obstacles. And here's another question I can say to you, and I never thought about it. It wasn't even on my agenda. I don't think you ever cancel an appointment because of breast cancer.
No.
You would do radiation, and I can remember you would get in a car and you were like, Lisa, this is the worst sunburn you can imagine. And I'm like, Debbie, do you want me to go handle this? No, we're doing this together. And I felt like you needed to keep going. You could not go home.
I didn't have a choice, and I couldn't wear a bra. And it was like, I felt like 90 to 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And, I'm not a small girl, so I couldn't wear a bra. I had to wear a jacket in the heat of the summer and the wig and go make those sales calls and just keep moving. Just keep pushing because, that's what you do.
I think being self-employed, we're motivated differently. Sure. we don't get paid for those efforts that build. We get paid for that result.
Right.
And I think you knew I have to keep having results because you didn't know if that 5th radiation treatment was going to do you in and you couldn't get out there. I can remember you had moments like, Lisa, I'm going to try to go tomorrow. It was a rough session, but and you always got up and did it. And I think women need to hear that because not just women, but men, when you're going through a personal obstacle, you have to keep moving because you're not just going to inspire your family, inspire your customers. You're going to inspire so many people that don't know what to do. Because when you're self-employed, there is no sick time. There is no vacation time. There is no PTO. No. Either we close and pay our bills or we have to give a sob story to the bill collectors.
Absolutely.
And one thing I do want to ask you, if you had any advice you can give to someone for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, what would it be? I mean, do your checkups, be aggressive with your appointments. But let's say it's a sales rep like you and they're trying to find balance. What would be your advice, like to encourage them to keep going?
Just, again, you take care of your health, you pray, and you just keep pushing no matter what. You don't give up. And there's a lot of love and support from friends and family around you and your coworkers, and you just keep moving. You don't have time, especially when you're the breadwinner.
Oh, no.
You don't have time to feel sorry for yourself. Like I said, you just keep pushing. You just keep moving forward. And because you got bills and you got a household to take care of, kids to take care of. So, you don't think about all that other stuff. You just keep looking forward and what you need to do to make it happen.
Do you feel like you try to mentor people when they tell you they've been on a journey or they're on a journey? You feel like you want to open up like...
I will go to chemotherapy with friends. Anybody that asks me, I absolutely hold their hand, sit around, cut up, make jokes, cut up in chemotherapy because it's not a happy place, but you try to make it happy. When I was going through it, I'd invite all my friends, come stop by and tell me hi. So as we're talking, for a minute,
I have the best story of you. So I can remember you probably did 3 chemo treatments, and I'm like, how you feeling, Debbie? She's like, apparently I'm feeling good. I've gained 2 pounds. I was hoping to lose some weight in this journey. And we just bust out laughing. She's like, I hear about these people losing weight. I would like to lose some weight.
I was really disappointed in that. I didn't lose any weight on chemo. Everybody drops that weight. I did not. I gained weight.
She's like, I'm hungry. I thought I wasn't going to be hungry.
Because, your taste buds aren't there. I guess I kept eating to try to taste something and it wasn't working. And of course I didn't lose weight.
So do you remember the time, this is a great story, we're at Texas Roadhouse. We've been working all day. We finally went to lunch and they had the pink packs, which, the sweet and low, the blue, the equal. Oh, yeah. Yes. And Debbie, we both get an unsweetened iced tea. And you're like, Lisa, you're not going to put any sugar in there? I'm like, well, that causes cancer. And she said, I know. Tell me about it.
I know, right?
And I'm cracking up. I'm like,
late for me.
I didn't realize I said that. I'm so sorry. Oh, my goodness. I
did the same thing in the doctor's office. They had a coffee pot there, and they had the same sugar packets. And my friend...
A cancer center.
who had taken me to the doctor at the time, said, which one you want? You want the pink one? I said, no, that causes cancer. Out loud, everybody in the waiting room had cancer.
We all have cancer.
It's like, oops, never mind. I'm in that too. So it's all good.
This is going to be a little personal, but I do want to mention this. I learned a lot from you. One thing you told me it hits my heart with this story. You had a mammogram recently.
Yes.
This wasn't, and I'm saying that because some people that I talk to that are breast cancer survivors or going through it, Lisa, since COVID, I missed a few mammograms. I'll take responsibility. But that wasn't the case with you.
No. It was 3 months before, 6 months, something like that. And when I went, then I was diagnosed. I said, I don't understand how this could happen. I just had a mammogram and they said, oh, well, your breasts were dense. It didn't show up then. Well, that's not a comforting feeling. Mm-mm. So don't ever miss a mammogram. Absolutely.
But you got to stay on top. You went to that appointment because you felt something, correct?
Yeah, I felt the lump. It was right here on the outside. It was the size of a grape. And it was stage 2, grade 3 breast cancer.
And that didn't grow in 6 months.
Meaning it was very aggressive. So they had to take care of it immediately. And the best choice for me, everybody's situation's different on how they treat their cancer. And for me, it was a lumpectomy at the time. Mm-hmm. And I had to go through chemo and radiation because the type of cancer I had was so aggressive. So I just did what they told me to do. And
I want to say you told me the story. Your son ran into you. You would have never known it was there.
Yeah, you know what? How when your kids are little and they kind of climbing all over you. Well, Max at the time was kind of like at boob height, the top of his head. He kind of brushed by me like that and was like, ooh, what is that? And that's how I felt something. And it felt like a round ball rolling around. And I went and got checked out and went from the gynecologist's office to getting an ultrasound. And when you get an ultrasound, you could see it from here to the wall. It's big. It's clear as day. The mammogram, ultrasound, and boom, immediate lumpectomy. I mean, it was all in like a week, all of that happened. It was quick.
I remember you calling me. You called me and you said, I don't think this is good news. I said, why? The radiologist came out the back and demanded a biopsy while I was there.
Right.
And you were like, I know what this is. Oh, my
God. And I'm laying on a table and the tears are coming down the sides. And all I could think is, oh, my God, if something happens to me, who's going to take care of my kids? Yeah. And that's the only thing I was thinking. Nothing else. So I'm crying.
You got me crying.
That was my journey. That's what I went through.
And one thing I try to teach people in sales, I'm a very big collaborator. What does that mean? There should be no competition. There should be teamwork, collaboration. Like I have a lot of people that are in my field. Mm-hmm. And I always tell them, I'm not here to compete with you. Why not learn from each other? Why not work together? Right. There's too much business in the city of New Orleans for anyone to compete or backstab each other. And I'm going to say this to you, even though you and I technically, we were with the same company soliciting, we're independent contractors. Imagine if we had to I'm going through an illness. Imagine if you had to do it by yourself. Working with people, I think definitely keeps you going. Mm-hmm. Pairing up with people. And I think you can tell anyone, we may be independent agents, but we should all still work as a team and help each other out. Because I'm going to tell you, I couldn't cancel with you. I couldn't miss that presentation because there were moments I'm like, Debbie, I'm going to do the presentation. I'm going to stay later and enroll. I'm going to go back and see those other employees because I had to be that team player for you.
And I am so happy and fortunate to have you train me from the beginning. You and I go back a long way. Mm-hmm. And thank God for your love and support and helping me through that process. In my rookie year, that you were incredible in the amount of help and support and love that you gave me.
Our makeup, Debbie, our makeup. Our makeup.
Oh, my girl.
I knew this would be emotional, but I wanted to tell you, I look up to you.
I feel the same way about you.
I deal with a lot with Caleb, but what you dealt with, wow. And I think I learned from you because when Caleb wasn't doing well and he had to go to therapy 4 days a week, and you and I can relate when you're doing treatment, when you're doing doctor's appointments is when we should be making money. So you have to figure it out. You have to be flexible. But I tell people if it wasn't for my job hours, and my flexibility, I don't think I could have made it while I was getting Caleb through therapy. So you probably were that example for me many years ago. Because when was this? This was 2012?
2008. I was diagnosed at the end. So 2009 was the chemo.
Oh, wow. So it's been that long. So what a story.
It's been that long. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, this has been awesome. It's been emotional.
Oh, I knew it was going to cry.
Oh, my gosh. Makeup. Because, and I could have anyone on the show because, me, I love to solicit, build relationships, but I'm a firm believer in keeping my long-term relationships healthy.
You are the best at this.
Oh.
You are the best. And I just love you and admire you and for the person you are and the successful young lady you have become. I'm so proud of you.
And I did not pay her to say this on the camera.
Woman. So proud.
Well,
absolutely.
I always ask people this at the end of our conversation. What is a great motivational quote? Something that you can read every day to keep moving every morning.
Keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. Because, the path is not easy for anybody. And it's true in life. You got your good times. You got your bad times. I tell my sons all the time, treasure the good times. Because it goes like a roller coaster. They don't last. But then the beauty of it is the bad times don't last neither. So you keep moving forward no matter what.
Count your blessings, not your misfortunes.
That's how you win.
It's true. I do believe that when we slow down, we start going backwards. Right. And that's when things get harder. But this has been great, emotional. I tell you what, I motivate people all day long, and it feels good to have somebody motivate me because now it's like I need to do something extra today because Debbie always does the extra thing. So
you and I go way back. So when you tell the stories, I laugh. It's like, I had a front row seat to that experience. I sure did.
So
front row seat.
Debbie loves when she tells the stories of, you think I'm bold now.
Oh, you should have seen her back in the day.
Oh, yeah. If we were doing a presentation for someone and they gave me a remark, oh, great presentation, just not interested. Well, couldn't have been that great of a presentation. You didn't buy anything. I would go right back at them, and Debbie's like, Lisa, I can't say something like that. But I have gotten better over the years.
You can get away with it. I just don't think I could.
My thing is, you get a smile in front of me, let me in your business, and waste 30 minutes of my time. When you were going to say you weren't interested to begin with, I would just be like, just be upfront. I mean, it's business. So I'm a big girl. I'll move on to the next. But I have gotten better. But Debbie got to see.
You let Lisa in your office and it's on. It's on. Good luck to you. She's going to win. You just don't know it yet. She's going to win.
Oh, Debbie, this was awesome. Oh, thank you so much for being here.
It. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Persistent Bosses. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.